Good morning. Just Jeb here. And here is the promise video I promised last night and literally right after my stream this morning on the secret ending. So, these are my thoughts on Ragnarok. Gosh, it was such a good game. Oh my god, never in my life have I experienced, well, that's not true because I have experienced a lot of great stories. I've experienced a lot of great games. I've experienced a lot of great stories. But Ragnarok is probably one of the better stories I have experienced in a very, very long time. I love Last of Us 2, so I'd say probably since Last of Us 2 there's just not been a game like Ragnarok since Last of Us Part 2. So here I just want to talk about some themes that I picked up, some good, some bad, some parallels to the first game. So with the good, the parallels. So I didn't grow up playing the original God of War. I mean, it was rated M for mature, and I was not mature. I've only played 3 of the 5 games in the series. I mean, not even counting the PSP games. So I guess there's 7, I think. I've only played 3 of them, so I don't know Kratos' full story. I've watched through someone play through the first 2 games once in preparation for the 4th game. I played the 3rd game because I saw the opening scene and I was like, bro, that's epic. But I played through the 3rd game, 4th game, and Ragnarok, obviously. And I loved it. It was great. One reason why I didn't want to play the original games for so long was I saw there were sex mini games, and I was like, no, we're not gonna do that. But but playing through the games that I have played through was awesome. It was great. I think between Ragnarok, out of the 3 games, I haven't played the 3rd game in a while, so I'm not putting that in the lineup. But with the 2 games I played recently, let's call the Norse mythology games, I think I like the first game better. The story is very simple. I love the boss variety. The boss variety in Ragnarok, French kiss. It was so good. All right, so I loved getting to play as Atreus. That was I think everyone wanted to play as Atreus whenever this game got announced. That was something everyone wanted, and it was really cool from a storytelling perspective, getting the 2 points of views from father and son. So yes, Atreus was being a little bratty. He wasn't as bad as he was in the first game. He was such a brat in the first game, but in this game he wasn't as bad, but he was still very, very bratty because of not telling Kratos. And I guess I'm gonna just chalk it up to maybe teen angst. I don't know, but I was talking to a buddy of mine about it, and Kratos is the father. Kratos trusts Atreus, and Atreus was keeping secrets, which made Kratos not really trust him. But it was great. I loved getting to play as Atreus. Kratos' combat, great as always. You play with the triggers, R1's light attack, R2, and God of War was one of the first games I saw did that, and I was like, "Dadgum, that's so I don't normally like that in games, but that was done really, really well." What else? The characters, oh my gosh, I loved the characters. I will say the newer side characters, I didn't like. Freya's brother was cool. I liked him, but the dwarves that were introduced, the elves that were introduced, Freya's brother's army, I didn't really like them. I loved the Aesir gods. Oh my gosh, I never wanted to punch Heimdall in the face more than when we first met him. Odin was great as the main villain and antagonist. I loved that. Thor was amazing. And I know these characters not from Norse mythology, but from Marvel, which I think most people do. I mean, I might be mistaken, but I feel like most people know them from Marvel. So it was really cool getting to see a new interpretation of these characters that I knew but didn't know, because again, I don't know Norse mythology. I think I watched one video really explaining it on YouTube that was in preparation for this game. So that was really cool, and I loved getting like the newer, like anyone from Asgard, fantastic. That was such good character, like such good character development, and like the characters we know, Mimir, Kratos, like when they saw the oracles, oh, that was so good. Oh, you could like dive deep into their psyche, and it was so good. Oh man, what else did I? Then the writing, was phenomenal. There was no one. I mean, there were moments that I rolled my eyes at, but it was during combat. Like every time you'd get on fire, and Artreus was like, "You're on fire," but I guess you already knew it. I'm like, "Come on, Artreus, that's no, stop, please." But like anything from the cutscenes, writing was phenomenal. By the way, this is going to be a spoiler review of God of War, so keep that in mind. I'll let you know when I'm talking about a big spoiler moment, but let's see what else. Combat. Oh, the spear. I loved the spear. Like a new source of combat, a nice variety. That was great. Like I loved it. Like, and the fact that, like, especially during the Heimdall fight, which was the whole point of, the spear, but that was awesome. The two Valkyrie fights. I never fought a Valkyrie until this game. And I was like, oh my gosh. That was also around the time of the game I had to lower the difficulty, but I'll get into that. I'll get into that in my not so good section, which honestly, I think that's really the only thing no, there's a couple of things I didn't like now that I'm thinking about it. I guess that the music was great. My last two parts got copyright claims because of the music that was added. So Twitch muted it, so I shouldn't get hit on YouTube, but on Twitch they muted it. So sorry guys. Let's see what else. The themes that I noticed and parallels. For the biggest parallel. So I'm gonna count this now as spoiler. So you've been warned. For those who are gonna stop after who's gonna stop watching after this, I give this game like an 8.5 out of 10. Heck, I'll go as far to say a 9. Not a perfect 10, but it was good. It was really good. No, this is a Star Kid joke. No higher than a 9.8. Because it can't all be perfect, which is what I'm striving for. I'm just kidding. But no, an 8.5 out of 10. I loved this game. I guess I'll talk. No, okay, sorry. My brain's all over the place, but this game was so good. There was a secret ending, and that hit. Like, the whole third act hit like an emotional truck, like an emotional train. It was an emotional roller coaster. There was good moments. There were, like, moments that made me tear up and cry. There were moments that got me, like, pumped with adrenaline and was like, let's go! But, yeah, okay, so the things I didn't like, because then I'm going to talk about spoiler stuff after I talk about this stuff, so this isn't the spoiler section just yet, so I apologize. But things I didn't like. This might just be because I'm a bad gamer. Don't know, but it was hard. Like, I don't mind a challenge, but, like, the difficulty, like, I wanted a balanced experience. This game was not balanced when I was on that. Like, it curved. Like, the beginning I did okay. Like, up until, excuse me, but I think up until we, met up with Freya, but like when Freya joined our side is when I think the difficulty kind of just spiked because it was not a balanced game after that. Like I don't know how to explain it, guys, but like finding all like the health upgrades and the rage upgrades were hard. And I scoured every corner. And y'all will see it in the Let's Play. Like I looked for those upgrades. Couldn't find it. Nowhere to be found. And I was kind of like, I don't like when a game has to make for me to enjoy it, I hate when a game makes me change my difficulty for me to enjoy it. Like if I start a game on normal or balanced, I expect that to be the game the I expect that to be where I finish because that was the experience I wanted to have. Traversal, I mean, going from place to place and exploring that did get a little dull. As great as the game was and the narrative was, I think like the first act was very like it didn't have no clear direction. Like I knew the game was going towards Ragnarok. I don't know why I'm doing show my. I knew the game was heading towards Ragnarok, but like it took a very long time to be like, yeah, this is what we're doing. You know, like it started out as a game where Atreus was like, "Oh, I'm just doing this to find myself," and then it was like, "Okay, why?" So there's that. There is a there traversing was a little. I mean, it wasn't the greatest, but I mean, it wasn't the worst thing ever. What else? What else? Like the difficulty curve, like the difficulty spike, I should say. Like, I'm not a bad gamer. I'm also not a good one. I am a mediocre gamer. I've played games. I play games for story, and it shows here. But like, I should not like. I fought every enemy that I came across. So I feel like the experience I got from fighting, like the experience you get for, like, I know, like, if you want extra experience from doing all the side quests, that's one thing. But I feel like there should be a balance, like, there should be a balance of experience from, because, how do I explain it? There should be, I don't know, but like, I was very frustrated that because I didn't do all the side stuff, and I looked for those, like, those chests that gave me the health upgrades, I looked for them. Like, what made me angry is that I didn't even have, like, those, like, special moves from just my normal exploring and coming across chests. I didn't even have those. Like, the Blades of Chaos were the only ones that had my special moves on R1 and R2. The Spear didn't have any. The Leviathan axe didn't have any, and it was like, what the heck? So yeah, that was a big that was something I really didn't like. Was I feel like in order to succeed in the game, you had to explore, and I did not like that. Like, if I want to play it on normal and not do any of the side content, I should not have gotten punished for not doing any side content. And that's just me as a gamer. Like, I know some people eat up the side content, and that's fine. Like, get your money's worth of the game. I get my money's worth from the story on the first playthrough, because I know I'm going to play through this game again. That's when I'm probably going to do the side content. But don't punish players for not doing side content. Because, like, I had to change the difficulty to, like, be able to scoot by. Thankfully, I didn't, like, basically turn it to super easy baby mode. I just changed it to kind of easy mode. And I hated that. I don't like playing games on easy mode. I want the challenge. But, yeah, I think that's about everything I didn't like. So, oh, there was one more thing. The mask subplot. I wasn't a fan of the mask. I mean, yeah, I really wasn't a fan of the mask, especially how that subplot ended. It's not really a subplot, but it is a subplot. I don't know. I don't know. I have to think more about that. But I loved the game, guys. Like Ragnarok, the Ragnarok section was amazing. Like fighting Thor and Odin, that was awesome. And the secret ending, oh my gosh, the secret ending was so it was so sweet. No, it wasn't. It was heartbreaking. But this is now the spoiler section. So a big parallel I noticed was Brock, or was Sindri and Freya from the first game. They were very similar, even to the ending of their story. Like, if they make a third game, which I don't know how they can, Atreus is off adventuring on his own, and Kratos and Mimir and Freya are, which I guess they could theoretically make God of War 3, God of War, whatever it's going to be called, but Ragnarok's like the ending, like, of Norse mythology. And I don't know how we can have a God of War game when we're not fighting any gods, unless we're changing regions and going into another one, which people are suspecting we're going to go to Egypt and take on the Egyptian gods. So I don't know, unless that's going to be the next game. But I have a feeling Sindri is now going to seek revenge on Atreus, and Kratos will get wind of this and is going to find Atreus to protect Atreus from Sindri. Not saying Sindri will be the main antagonist, kind of like how Freya wasn't the main antagonist in this game. She started as an enemy, but she joined our side, and our Sindri will come back to us once we help him with something, kind of like with Freya. That's kind of what I'm getting at and suspecting. Themes. Oh my gosh, the themes in this game, like, because I was presenting the gospel so many times in this game, because a lot of, like, this game was about not just Atreus becoming a boy to a man, but it was also him. Was also him. It was also about Atreus becoming shoot. But it was also Kratos being a father that had to let go, defying destiny, which I love when games do that, because I'm like, yes, I believe in God and believe that God is sovereign, but he gives us free will. So things are not set in stone. Like, there were prophecies in the Bible that had to happen, but he gave man free will. And I loved that. I love stories about defying destiny. I mean, like, we are not just, biblical prophecies are one thing, but the biblical prophecies, like, a lot, for example, Israel's destruction. God only prophesies that Israel would be destroyed because of the choices Israel made. So if they made different choices, Israel wouldn't have been exiled and Jerusalem wouldn't have been destroyed. But because of their choice, so see, it's like free will dictates our choices, but it doesn't dictate God. I hope that made sense. After saying that, now I think I'm a little confused, but I hope that made sense. But let's see, there's another thing. The story of, like, your past, like, I love that, because even Kratos was talking to Freya about, like, I've made mistakes in my past, and mistakes of our past do not define us, because that was a big theme, especially when towards the ending of the second act, when Atreus messed up. And what did Atreus do? He was like, oh no, I did this, I caused this. He thought he let the wolf, like, out and cause havoc everywhere. He thought he was the reason Brock was killed. And Kratos, right before Atreus coming back, was talking to Freya about his mistakes, and, like, how, like, he feels awful about that. But it's like, that doesn't define you. Like, yes, mistakes have consequences, but that does not define you as a person. And again, that was just really cool, seeing, like, a Christian element in this game about pagan gods. That was really cool to me. So that was a big theme, where your mistakes have consequences, but they do not define you. And that was really cool, because as a Christian, that's true. We may make mistakes. We may sin and be, like, basically dead in our sin, but when we become Christians and Jesus saves us, sure, there may be consequences of our sins, but that's not who we are. And that was just really cool to see. And oh gosh, I love a good father-son story. Like, now that I'm older, like, I still kind of love a good coming-of-age story, but those stories aren't for me anymore. Like, if anything, I think I was more attached to Kratos and his story of having to let his son grow up. I'm not a father, but now that I'm married and am starting my family, that's going to be me like one day. So like Atreus's story, Atreus's coming of age story didn't really hit for me because, well, I am of age. I became a man. I'm not a kid growing up anymore. But it hit more with Kratos. Even though I loved playing as Atreus and seeing like what cool things I could do with him, the story of Kratos having to let his son grow up, that hit closer to home than Atreus did. And that was just, oh, it was amazing. Like I'm playing, like the next game I'm going to play through is The Last of Us, and a man who lost everything, gaining everything. And then the second one is about forgiveness. And as a Christian, I love a good story about forgiveness. I love a good redemption story. And that's what The Last of Us is. So yeah, guys, that was my time with God of War Ragnarok. I loved it. It was great. And no, the secret ending. I didn't talk about that. So the secret ending, like Kratos tried to comfort Sindri, but he didn't want it. And then Mimir mentions it's a hole. Kratos looks at him confused, and he was like, when you keep giving and giving, the hole gets bigger. And it was like, Sindri was the giving tree. Like, he gave everything to Atreus and Kratos. He gave his home. He gave his family. He got like, like baffled that the story went the way it did, but it was so good. I'm probably going to watch a Let's Play of it. And then I'm going to go back and watch another Let's Play of it. But it'll give me time because the other Let's Play, so I'm going to watch Corey Kenshin. Y'all should follow him. He's another Christian YouTuber. I'm going to probably watch Corey Kenshin's Let's Play of it. And then I'm going to watch Cloudy McDoon play through the entire God of War series. So I'm excited for that. But, I loved it, guys. It was great. It was because I got to replay the fourth game again, which was great. I got to play through this new story and like all these feels and emotions. Like, I love the main theme of these games is be better, because that came out like that was the main thing of the fourth game. Kratos was telling his son. Sorry, there's not enough light, and I turned off this light. But Kratos was telling his son, we got to be better all throughout the fourth game. And that came back into this game where they had to be better. They had to defy destiny. They had to like not make the mistakes that their ancestors did. And that was really cool. Another thing I liked, I just remembered, Faye is always playing an integral part to these games. And she's dead. Like, the dreams, like, getting to actually see Faye was awesome. Like, gosh, I just love these. I love this game. I'm looking forward to watching a Let's Play of it after I finish through another Let's Play I'm watching. But, guys, those have been my thoughts with God of War. In reality, I'd probably give it an 8.5 out of 10. But, gosh, it was so good. I cannot wait to play it through it. I'm not going to play through it immediately. You know, I got other things to play through. I got other streams I want to do. Like, I want to play through The Last of Us for the new HBO show. I want to play through Kingdom Hearts series. I want to play through... Lindsay suggested the next thing I stream should be all the Kingdom Hearts bosses. But I told her I think I am going to just play through the games, but not the bosses. But... sorry, gotta hydrate before you dihydrate, as my wife would say. But, yeah. So, that was God of War, guys. I'm going to be streaming on Twitch here again in a little bit for The Last of Us Part 1. I'm going to eat lunch. Going to just, not de-stress, I'm not stressed, but I'm going to just calm down. Oh, I got to tell... sorry, mind is racing, but thank you guys for joining me on God of War. Next series is going to be The Last of Us. I'm going to play through that. Sorry. I'm going to play through that, both games, because one, Steven, this is for you. My buddy 1 out of 1 really wants me to play through it. He loves The Last of Us, and with the new series coming out, I want to play through it again. I started it on Halloween because of Spooktober, but I only did 1 episode because of my dumb plan. I don't think that's going to work. Spooktober was the roll the D4 and see what you get. So I'm gonna play through that. I'm not gonna do that, but I do have games like I want to honor Kevin Conroy and play through the rest of the Arkham games. I want to play through Persona 5. I want to go through the Mass Effects trilogy. I want to go through Kingdom Hearts. I just got all these games, and then there's new games coming out. Like, oh my gosh, I want to play through Shadow of. Well, these aren't new games that I'm mentioning now. These are just games I haven't played in a while / never played. I want to go through the Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War games. I want to replay Jedi Fallen Order in preparation for Jedi Survivor. There's just so much I want to do for you guys, and not enough time. But thank you guys so much for all that you've done. Thank you for the new subscribers who joined me on this new journey. Sorry that I was gone for 2 weeks. Got married. See? And so because I'm still a newlywed, I'm going to not stream as much. I just wanted to get through Ragnarok. Now that I am not playing a new game and just going to play through a game I already know, I'm not going to be streaming as much. Like, I do intend to continue streaming. It just won't be as much. I just wanted to get done with Ragnarok. Now that that's done and I have I'm not going to get spoiled with anything, I'm not going to worry about it. But guys, thank you so much for joining me on this journey. I look forward to playing other games. Like, games I have picked out are Hogwarts Legacy is one of the new games. All the games I've already mentioned. There's just so much I have planned for you guys. But without further ado, guys, I look forward to seeing you guys. And remember, I play those games. All the games I'm mentioning that I'm going to play, I play them.